Imagine giving up your last meal to return a stranger's lost wallet. That's exactly what this homeless girl did. But the billionaire's reaction wasn't what anyone expected. His next move would change her life forever and redefine what true generosity looks like.
This is Scholola, a 12-year-old girl who called the streets of Lagos home. Every day was a battle, scavenging for scraps of food, searching for shelter when the rains came, watching other children walk to school while she remained invisible. But one sweltering afternoon, her routine changed forever when she spotted a leather wallet on the sidewalk. Inside was more money than she'd ever seen, thick wads of naira, platinum credit cards, and an ID belonging to one of Nigeria's wealthiest businessmen. The cash alone could feed her for months, buy medicine for her sick mother, maybe even rent a real room. Scholola stood frozen as people rushed past her, oblivious to the life-changing object in her dirty hands. Psychological studies suggest less than 15% of people in extreme poverty would return such a sum. The human brain prioritizes survival over ethics when hungry. It's biology, not morality. Yet Scholola remembered her mother's words. Even when the world is unfair, you decide who you are. That wallet wasn't hers, no matter how desperate she was. Took 3 days to track down the billionaire. Security guards laughed when a street kid insisted on seeing their boss. But when the man finally emerged, Scholola simply held out the wallet, its contents untouched. His face cycled through confusion, suspicion, then stunned realization. This child had nothing, yet gave everything back. As he stammered thanks, something shifted in his expression. He started asking questions no adult had ever asked her. Where did she sleep? Was she hungry? The billionaire saw past his own assumptions about homelessness that day, but neither of them could possibly anticipate what was coming next. One honest act was about to rewrite both their futures in ways nobody saw coming. The billionaire could have thanked Scholola and walked away. That's what most people expected. But something about this girl, her sunken cheeks, her torn clothes, the quiet dignity in her voice when she said, "This belongs to you," kept him standing there beneath. The Lagos son, long after his security team grew restless. He asked where her parents were. She told him her mother begged on the 3rd mainland bridge, when her mind was clear enough. He asked where she slept. She mentioned a bus shelter near the market. When the store owners didn't chase her away, each answer hit harder than the last. Here was a child who owned nothing, not even a pair of shoes without holes, yet she'd returned enough money to buy a small house. Behavioral economists call this the purity test, a moment when encountering extreme deprivation forces privileged people to confront their own moral scaffolding. The billionaire had foundations, scholarships, even a charity wing in his company. But none of that mattered as he stared at Scholola's cracked fingertips holding an empty water bottle. 3 days later, he arrived at the bus shelter with his lawyer. The papers outlined full guardianship, private school tuition, medical care, an apartment for her and her mother. His only condition: stay exactly who you are. Employees would later say they'd never seen him so emotional signing a document. But this wasn't just charity. By that Christmas, he'd converted a vacant building near Scholola's old sleeping spot into a youth center with hot meals and tutors. She didn't just change her life, he told reporters. She changed how I see mine. The strangest part? None of it felt like obligation. It felt like catching up to the person a 12-year-old girl already believed he could be. Scholola's story proves integrity has no price tag. That single act of returning a wallet rewrote 2 lives, one lifted from poverty, another humbled by unexpected grace. Today, her old bus shelter bears a mural of a girl holding out her hands, reminding passers-by that transformation often starts small. Share this with someone who needs hope today, because sometimes the most powerful revolutions begin with quiet choices. To be honest when no one's watching, generous when it costs everything. Water-shaped stone not by force but persistence. Scholola's ripple became a wave. Now it's your turn. What kindness will you set in motion?